In northern Ghana, small-scale farmers are noticing changes in their climate. The rains aren't as predictable and it's hotter than it used to be. These weather changes are a big deal for the farmers because they rely mostly on their crops for survival. The changing weather and increased heat are signs of climate change, a problem Ghana's farmers face daily. Global CO2 emissions, particularly from high energy-consuming regions like Europe and America, have had negative impacts on lives in Ghana and the African continent. Even though Africa only produces 4% of global greenhouse gas emissions, it suffers heavily from climate change. African economies have lost between 5 and 15% due to these changes. Farming in northern Ghana has always been difficult. Most farmers are smallholder farmers who rely on rain-fed agriculture. More than 90% of the population in northern Ghana have farming as their main income. With the negative consequences of climate change, their livelihoods are at risk, and projections say that it will only get worse.
The impact of climate change globally is great, and the situation is the same when we come to Ghana. Climate change has impacted a lot on all development spheres in Ghana, and this has to do with health issues, also flooding causing the collapse of houses of people. And climate change is also causing people, especially youth and women, to migrate from their communities to other places, and all that is affecting their livelihoods and also making them more poor.
The small-scale farmers in rural areas of northern Ghana are uniquely affected by climate change. Climate impacts like floods and long droughts destroy their crops, leading to food shortages and loss of income. When the main source of livelihood is lost due to climate changes, the people in the vulnerable communities, including farmers, have to resort to other livelihood ventures which are not friendly to the environment, like charcoal curing and felling of trees for fuel wood on commercial scale. Such economic activities reinforce the impacts of climate change. Changing Lives in Innovative Partnerships, a nonprofit organization in northern Ghana, and its Danish partner, Ghana Friendship, have over the years introduced climate-adaptive technologies to smallholder farmers in northern Ghana to improve upon household resilience to the impacts of climate change.
The vulnerability assessment looked into finding out how vulnerable communities and smallholder farmers are differently impacted by climate change, and what appropriate measures or strategies are available in order to build the adaptive capacity of these vulnerable smallholder farmers and communities. So after doing this, a number of recommended appropriate climate resilience strategies were identified, and this included dry season vegetable cultivation, livestock production and sale, beekeeping, instituting a multi-stakeholder climate change platform, among others. So based on these, the Empowerment for Life program then did demonstrations in order for these smallholder farmers and vulnerable communities to learn from these demonstrations in order to increase their resilience to climate change impact in the communities.
te pitu lele ke jakaba ta te ta akpo ku tung ba mo pone te ke mambe bung tite ke bala kama te na malama te ke kambe mung ma jebe ta to ko na mo patunyo ke tite ta patunyo ni kene ye ke tung wa ma pa to ko na be ku jo ter ta kuche tu jo ngani beni konjo ke beni mo ampone ke beni kama ta tu ma bir kana wa bon tu na mo nga no wa mo le pite ti je ka wo tu pambe no mo te de ti gira ba ka tu ma nya ko na pon ko ke da ti ke bi ne o su ko wa bele wa mo bo je ka en ma ko to ko na ke de lo o nsu ko bo na ko tiji ka gba nga to do ka te ka ma nya tiji ka gba ka ma gba ku che ka na yo pi ne i ngona ku fa se ma gba ka na yo ka pi ne ta gba nten che ka ti na len
en yidde la pu parlam ne ka ma ayidan garla ne ka sara kana ta di ni nyar sham kan ban yar la ka so che kan lab gaw la angane ka te kwar la shar shar tan ni kan ten labrin ne kan fana pamche kan chang nte jwande kwar jar ma ka an fana yirna minin behden yiba nyar sham bi chang shukur kan yiba nyar sham terba ma yi ma sun na law gaw man ma an fana kwema kan ndere dadia nzan chang gaw ma ko
yaki NGO se ba dan kebel la trete empowerment for life ya be jonen term ka jo ki jo tira kwa jo na tumbo yaki bene trete yan san inang ba sha kirim inang ba si ba ma kirim mo nanga ke titin nga ke ti ya jatiya bela nan ku kanya ne buya ta kanya ne kya nan buya ti ya jati binan ku ba bin le nyo ba bin ne ba kan kam ntange bu tumba bun fine na tup kun ke bin le nyo ke bin fatire za ko punde kwande mba cha ne mo cha na nya ndete tingman ka kan ka de inang ba sha kirim ya kretite ke te kiri inang ba siya tumo kan puntunyu ne manga tinya ne ki tinyu bampun elewan tiar kuse eleya tilman ter nde champun kabiya te kan tijika ne pun tilman ter nde champun kabiya bumbom school ke ter nde champun ne bupuda mbeya tilman kuse ne kedebil eleya kedebil ku ju eleya ku ju tiri to ke tere to ne bunum pungande le nyamil ne pun ke nyane inang basi a kirum bampun ele nyi ne punga tujo kana na fande ya.
As we gaze towards the future, the call for climate action, climate financing, and ending climate injustice must be amplified. The time to act against climate change is now.